We cannot deny that Evolving Skies is the juggernaut of the Sword and Shield era, and there's been a lot of talks about this booster box reaching new heights and just the set just really doing well over the past few months at the start of 2024, and who knows where it will end at the end of this year. Today we're going to be having a real talk about Evolving Skies. Where do I think it could go, whether or not I would pick up this set, whether or not you guys should buy into this set or not. We're going to be going through all of the market data that you need to know about the sealed product and the single card prices and where they might go over the next few months towards the end of this year going into 2025 and beyond. Let's get into it. Right guys, Evolving Skies, look, it is just crazy. I mean, to be honest, this set has been surprising me for the past 2 years. Now, if you go back and you watch some of my earlier videos, 2 years ago even, I was talking about this set doing well and expecting it to be the best set in the Sword and Shield era, but I never really anticipated it to be doing this well. Oh, like, there's no way. I remember if I went back 2 years, I can see some of the videos, I'm like, don't buy this set at $200 a box, because there was lots of views of this being reprinted and again and again and again, especially when it was in the normal print cycle of a normal set's lifespan, shall I say. Now it is well out of that lifespan, and we've seen the progress of the value of this set just continue to climb higher and higher and higher. And 2024, look, we're only 2 months in, well, 2.5 months in, and already this set is just exploding in value, not just over in the US, but also over here in the UK. We've started to see insane prices just of this booster box being sold on eBay, TCG Player, all over the place. So let's take a look at TCG Player, but we'll take a look at eBay as well, especially over here in the UK, and what's been going on with Evolving Skies. I'm going to do a breakdown of it. Let's go. Alright, let's take a look at Evolving Skies. As you can see, yes, this booster box is over $600. Now, I actually thought that Evolving Skies booster box would reach $700 last year. I actually thought it would reach $700 last year, and it didn't. It did take a bit of a slowdown, and it didn't really move much. As we can see, that was pretty much the case, right? You know, we're looking at about $400 back in May 2023, and then it just kind of dabbled around $400 for several months that have passed. Now, towards the end of last year, it finished at $415, so it only went up by about $15, you know, since the first half of the year to the end of the year. It didn't really move much, and I was actually genuinely quite surprised. I was thinking to myself, hang on a minute, I actually thought this booster box was going to go insane, right? Same with the Moonbrion. I thought it was going to do really, really well. And now look what's happened. Over the past 3 months, we've seen this box go, so basically the end of last year to now, from 415 up to, well, 600 and beyond. Where will this end? You know, we are looking now at prices on the same level, if not more expensive than some of the Sun and Moon era set. Now, don't forget, Sun and Moon went through a big boom last year, not just in sealed product, but also in single cards. We're now seeing Evolving Skies become more valuable, to be fair, more expensive than some of the top Sun and Moon era booster boxes. Yeah, we talked about Team Up, where the value of it is very, very expensive due to the short printings of the set, and that's one of the reasons why it is so expensive. Evolving Skies kind of had a bit of a perfect storm, really, because it came out in 2021. I believe it was August in 2021, and this set came out during the height of the pandemic. Of course, there was a lot of supply and demand issues. You had the, you know, still coming off the back end of that big Logan Paul boom, and loads of people coming in and buying product and flipping product, and it was loads of crazy stuff. It brought a lot of value to a lot of the sealed product, not just sealed product, but single card prices. We saw record highs on a lot of single card prices, old vintage booster boxes, and so on. Now, Evolving Skies again had the perfect storm in the fact of the cards in the set. Of course, you had the Moonbrion. You had a lot of the evolution cycle. We saw it from EV Heroes from the Japanese set, which was an absolute home run. It gave us a kind of a little bit of a preemptive indication of how good Evolving Skies is going to be. And then they dropped the Rayquaza on with it as well, and it was just overall worked as an absolute treat. On top of that, the pull rates are tough in Evolving Skies. They always have been, and they got worse and tougher with the more reprints the set got. So it means trying to get hold of some of these top end OR cards was super difficult. I kind of had a bit of a perfect storm going for it, right? And Sword and Shield era, in my opinion, is one of the best modern era for Pokemon, period. There are so many good sets in the Sword and Shield era that apart from Evolving Skies, there's so many sets that people have different opinion on of which is the next best set. Whether it be Chill and Rain, whether it be Fusion Strike, whether or not it be Crown Zenith, whether or not it be Lost Origin. Some people say it could be Brilliant Stars. There are a ton of different sets that are just absolutely amazing in the Sword and Shield era, but none of them compared to Evolving Skies. So this set is doing incredibly well. Plus, also, you do have a lot of people talking about Evolving Skies. I mean, I kind of moved away from talking about Evolving Skies for a period of time, and especially recently, because we know how good the set is. I don't need to say to people, this is a good set. Don't forget it's got the Moonbryon. Don't forget it's got this. Don't forget it's got that. We know it's good. It's whether or not you want to add this into your collection or not. The entry point on this is now getting very, very expensive. It's not like, you know, you can go out and buy a whole case and be like, yep, cool, I only spent $600 on a case. As an example, for like pretty much any other set, especially in the Scarlet and Violet era right now, you can probably pick them up for less than 600. But it's more the fact is that, you know, if you wanted a case of Chill and Rain or something like that, yeah, you pay a little bit more than you probably would have a few months ago. But Evolving Skies is like pretty much the cost of a case for some sets just for a single box. That's one thing, you know, you kind of got to be careful of. Now, I have a few booster boxes myself. I think I have like 6, maybe 7. I have at least a case left. I did have some more and I did sell them a while back. And obviously I sold them for a lot less than they are now. But I still have some. Would I personally pick up any more Evolving Skies? No, because I already have some. If I didn't have any Evolving Skies, I would look to pick up at least one booster box to just have in my collection, because it is a valuable set. I still stick to my guns on this one. I do think that this box, in fact, will reach $1,000. Don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be the end of this year. I don't know if it's going to be the next 3 years, 5 years, but it will be at least $1,000 a booster box. Will it be on the same level as Team Up? Probably not. But I do think that we could be looking at a Team Up level set from the Sword and Shield era. A lot of people ask me, do I think there's going to be an Evolving Skies, you know, hype, big, super duper set in Scarlet and Violet? Who knows? Who knows? I think that the Pokemon Company learned a lot from Evolving Skies, and especially from the Sword and Shield era, the whole, you know, printing over the demand, the supply demand, and things like that. Things might be different, but don't forget, Evolving Skies was reprinted a fair amount, and it still is where it is. Okay, right. Let's see what's been going on over here in the UK, because it's always been a bit different over here. Now, Evolving Skies was always cheaper over here than it was in the US. Things are starting to change around. Alright, so booster boxes. We have one here sold for £570 from the 12th of March. This is really, really crazy. There's a lot of like blisters and things like that going around. £480. We have one here. This one's opened for £280. £500. This is, you know, crazy. I did see some people do sell this on Facebook pages. I saw one recently. Someone sold it for about $420, $425. This is the crazy thing with Evolving Skies, is you can still pick up the booster packs. Best way to pick them up, in my opinion, is still the Charizard UPC. It does come with 3 packs. I actually think the best way of picking up Evolving Skies packs is from the Charizard UPC, because you're looking at nearly like I think I worked out like nearly £13-14 a booster pack. If you buy a box for £500, there's like £14 a booster pack if you buy it for a £500 box. That's insane. £14 a booster for Evolving Skies. That's what I'm saying. You could pick up, you know, the UPC for about 90, right? And it comes with 3 packs. That's insane. You know, we're looking at potentially £45, half the price of the UPCs in 3 Evolving Skies packs. And on top of that, you get 13 other packs in there and the promos and all the other bits. Crazy. Best buy, I think, right now, just because of what it's got in it. But yeah, so we're looking at anywhere between, I would say, £450. I mean, this one was £400. That was pretty good. Anywhere between £450 and £500 would be, you know, I would say the average. And £480 is probably the average of where you're looking at it. So overall, pretty crazy. I mean, it's, you know, it's getting crazy. Like I said, I personally won't pick it up because I already have some. If I didn't have any, I would just pick up one. I mean, unless you can afford to buy more, then, you know, I would say buy more. But honestly, is super expensive. I do feel like there are other sets where for the same price as one of these, you could do better. You know, I do think you could do better by picking up maybe, you know, 3 boxes of Chill and Rain as an example. Maybe at this rate, it could be 4 boxes of Chill and Rain, or even 2 Chinarain, 2 Fusion Strike, something like that. I do feel like would be pretty good, or even Lost Origin. I do think that's a pretty good option as well. Now, when we talk about Evolving Skies, we always talk about the Moonbryon, right? The Moonbryon is the card to get. You know, it is probably one of the biggest, I would say, along with the Latias from Sun and Moon, is one of the biggest modern era cards, period. And let's look at this. This actually has been going up in price. I think it kind of goes with the box. If the box is doing well, Moonbryon does well. And, you know, this isn't an easy card to pull, of course. I mean, we've only managed to pull it once in God knows how many Evolving Skies packs we've opened up on the channel. And yeah, you look at nearly $600. I mean, we go back a year and it's actually not at its highest, which is quite interesting, but it is doing a bounce back. I mean, it did go to under 500 towards the end of last year, kind of like where we saw the lowest price point of where the Evolving Skies booster box was. And then since the climb of the start of this year in 2024, yeah, we started to see the bounce back of the Moonbryon. Now, I've talked about the graded card price of this, and PSA 10s has been dropping in value because more and more of this card is getting graded, and there's more and more PSA 10s out there. But I do expect that to correct itself in the future, and then PSA 10s of this particular card will bounce back up in value, just as the raw price of this card is still going up in value. Now, if you're after the Moonbryon, just buy the Moonbryon. Don't try and open it in an Evolving Skies box. It's definitely not worth opening up Evolving Skies. To me, if you're going to open up Evolving Skies, try and get hold of the packs from another product like the UPC or other collection boxes that may still have Evolving Skies in them. But I wouldn't crack open a booster box of Evolving Skies. It's just not worth it. It's like opening up a booster box, you know, of Burning Shadows. It's probably not going to be worth it. You know, in the past we had Cosmic Eclipse, right? Cosmic Eclipse booster boxes were $800+ or like £600-700 over here, right? And there was a time where you could buy loose Cosmic Eclipse packs like between £10 to £12 a piece. Well, at £10 a piece, that's $360 a box, but for a seal box was double the price. And that was because Cosmic Eclipse was, you know, not reprinted, but it was available in like Pokeball tins, collection boxes like the Arceus figure box. It was cheaper to open up Cosmic that way rather than crack and open a box of Cosmic and open up that way. But that is now the same with Evolving Skies. It's now cheaper and better for your money if you are going to open up the set from supplemental products rather than a booster box. Obviously, as well as the Moonbryon, we have the Rayquaza. Now, bearing in mind, not all the arts in this set are actually going up. Some of them are actually dropping in value as well. It's not just every single card is going to the moon because the sealed box is going up. A lot of them are actually pretty steady, if not falling in price. You know, you would expect that if the booster box is going up, then the single cards go up. That's not necessarily the case. I mean, we see it time and time again that sealed product is super duper expensive, and then the single card prices and single card values within that set is pretty poor. And we see that the further back we go. You know, you go back to, you know, older sets, you're looking at maybe $1,000 a box, $2,000 a box. But then the biggest card in the set's like $80. You're thinking, what? Then in a PSA 10 might be a little bit better, but the raw price of those cards are quite low. Modern era sets are changing things up a bit, where the raw card price, things are getting really, really high. You know, we've seen it, of course, with the Moonbryon, but we see it when the Lugia came out, we see it with the Giratina, we see it with the Art Charizard. We're starting to see it, you know, we saw it a little bit with the Iono. You see it with a lot of these cards, and they come with such high values, raw, compared to, you know, sets way back when. It's quite interesting. Evolving Skies, like I say, the Moonbryon's doing very well. As you can see, the Rayquaza's doing okay. Not that it's the highest yet, but it is going to potentially get there. But then, you know, over here in the UK, it's also going up in price as well. What will I take away from this? Well, we can't deny how great Evolving Skies is doing. If you want to open the set, my opinion is open up things like the Charizard UPCs. They're still cheap, they're still quite easy to get hold of. You do get a whole wide variety of packs from good solid sets in there, not just Evolving Skies. And then the booster box, if you don't have one, I think it is a good one to at least have in your collection. You don't have to go absolutely crazy because the entry point now is very expensive. And I also don't believe that it's not too late to buy a booster box. I do feel like, as with pretty much everything, they go up in price over time. I don't expect them to drop anytime soon, or in fact ever. I do feel like they're gonna potentially, they could stagnate and they could hit a particular price point and just stay there, but I think eventually over time it will continue to rise and will be at least $1,000 a booster box. Now, I'm happy that I do have at least, I have like I say, a case worth of Evolving Skies. I'm not looking to pick up any more sets. I am looking to pick it up instead of spending $600 on a box. would be things like Fusion Strike, Chill and Rain, Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars. Those are the sets from the Sword and Shield era that I am focusing on, that I would want more of in my collection. And then on top of that, looking at, you know, the Scarlet and Violet era, I know at the moment everything's quite new, everything's super cheap, but in my opinion, I think that's a great time to pick up booster boxes when they're on the cheap, because you can't go wrong. Evolving Skies at one point was like 100, 120 dollars a box, right? All of my Evolving Skies boxes I picked up when they were £120, and you know, they're doing incredibly well. I'm really happy that I have them in my collection. Now, I could have opened them. I opened up a ton. We've opened up a load of them on the live streams. Well, I kept some for a rainy day. Now I think it's going to be a set that's just going to stay sealed. In my opinion, I don't think it's worth opening. Just like a Pokemon Center ETB, you know, I don't think it's worth opening them up. I think they're great to keep sealed. I think Evolving Sky is pretty much the same. If you made this fun to video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. Let me know your thoughts about Evolving Skies. Do you think it's a set that is still worth to pick up? Are you going to pick some up? Do you have some already? Or is there another set that you're looking at getting instead? Because the price is quite high, especially for an entry point. If you want to know what's going on in the single card market right now, then make sure to click the video on the screen. If you want more Pokemon content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, that is it from me in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.